hear the entire show and many others, visit www.PureMomentumNetwork.net.
I'm going to let everyone know again how this was originally presented. The NASA War document was a PowerPoint that was presented by Dennis Bushnell, one of the chief scientists at the NASA Langley Research Institute. And this was presented again as a PowerPoint in 2001, only a couple of months before 9/11. That's very important to know that. And so for people that are the doubting Thomases and wonder about the legitimacy of this document, you can just also go on to the Dennis Bushnell's other conferences, watch him on YouTube. He uses the same language, he discusses the same things, and so you will know that this is completely legitimate. We have vetted this document, and it is all real, and it is all being orchestrated now. And it cross-triangulates with other documents that say the same thing, but this is very blunt, very clear. And the heading of the document is entitled, The Bots, Borgs, and Humans Welcome You to 2520 AD. So we're talking about robots, cyborgs, and humans. And NASA admits to the commitment of transhumanism, in other words, the extinction of humans. This is very important. That is our reality. Again, we're the enemies of the state. As long as the White House maintains a national state of emergency that they renew every single year, we are in an ongoing war, and everything goes through the executive branch via executive order. I know many of you know about the National Defense Authorization Act. We know about how the government can literally go and gather up the food supply on every level, from equipment to the food supply. So we're in a high-tech tyranny now, and this is a covert corporate agency assault upon humanity to control and destroy. This is a reign of terror. This is exactly what we face, a reign of terror. And we know that these are multiple corporate agencies that are planning to literally play war games on the global population. So what we face here with this NASA document is robots, cyborgs, and humans. And again, humans are obsolete. And the plan involves a complete lockdown of the entire Earth, imprisoning of the entire population. It's radical depopulation of humans by the use of sophisticated silent weapon system, mass surveillance, kill technologies, eugenics, GMO, poisoning, pollution, war, famine, induced pandemics, use of EMP that we just spoke about, microwave technologies, and in fact they tell us on page 45 that beam weapons will become increasingly prevalent. And we now see that with the cell towers and all of our wireless devices. So, Ron, I'm going to start flipping through page by page of the document, and I invite you to make comments as I talk about this document. I'm now looking at page 3, and there's a list. It says this presentation is based upon futures war for and with. And they name a number of government agencies. They talk about the U.S. Air Force, and they talk about the Australian Department of Defense, DARPA, the CIA, the FBI, Southern Command. There are many agencies in acronym format. I don't need to go over all of them with you right now. It's just important for you to understand that none of the federal agencies are to benefit us, the people.
I would like to specifically state some points. As these older scientists are dying, they have the ability to, for quite some time, as we know, Dr. Robert White has been performing head transplants. It talks in this NASA document about a lamprey, its brain being isolated and controlling a robotic fish. On page 20 of this NASA document,
right.
It says here, U.S. Human Brain Project, begun in the 1990s, funded by 16 organizations across 5 agencies, the NIH, NSF, DOD, NASA, Department of Energy, aka neuroinformatics, intersection of neuroscience and informatics. And what is happening is a melding of the fact that as these people are perishing, as they age, they're very possibly opting to not necessarily do a head transplant, but they have, I think I sent you some documents a few days ago on the fact that they're able to actually transplant portions of brains, cognitive portions of the brain, and get it to work. This is truly the invasion of the body snatchers. As we see these children disappearing, it doesn't matter what race or nationality. They could be immigrants brought into the country. They're vanishing. They're being experimented upon. And this is a huge threat. This entire document is these creatures, they possibly were human once. They are no longer of the living world, have chosen to force humanity into a controlled environment because they're nothing but a brain in a vat. They don't even know they're alive.
Yeah, that is very true, Ron. And what I wanted to do was to walk through, for example, on page 4, it talks about the presentation of this NASA war plan, or as it's referred to, future strategic issues, future warfare, circa 2025. And they talk about how this program is based, in all cases, upon existing data, trends, analysis, technologies. They say, quote, no pixie dust. That's on page 4 of the document. So everything is real. They have the capability to initiate everything that they talk about in this document. And they talk about on page 5, heads up for the intelligence community, watches and warnings. And so they're talking about the future warfighting concepts and developments. This is what this is all about. They talk about going into assumptions and how politics won't change overnight. For example, Russia, Iraq, Iran, potential capabilities in future warfare issue, not who, but what. And that's what they're talking about, type of war that will be engaged globally. We're looking at page 7 right now, need to plan differently. They say that the world is in the throes of triple exponential IT, biological, nanotechnological revolutions. Changes are occurring at scales of in months instead of decades. So they're admitting to these far advanced technologies changing monthly. And again, we're in the throes of binary poisoning, cancer, fluoride, vaccines. And the definition of binary is the combining of two elements that combined create a reaction. So this is what has been occurring. Now, what is important on page 8 is the idea that NASA is behind the false illusion of false science with the need to reduce your greenhouse gas emissions. That, of course, is a genocide program. Anybody that is behind the sustainability movement is falsely informed. And sadly, there are many partly intelligent people, or that they believe that they are intelligent, that have been hoodwinked by an enormous global scam.
To hear the entire show and many others, visit www.puremomentum.net.